Welcome back everybody to another episode of Cooking with the Chief. Today we're going to make Mexican chili beef. I'm going to be making enough for 10 people. It's going to cost around $18 to $20, so that works out to $1.80, $2 a meal. You could possibly extend that out if you put some rice as a side to this dish and probably feed another 4 or 5 people. So anyway, enough of me talking. Let's get stuck into this. Alright, so these are the ingredients that we're going to use. I've got 1 kilo of minced meat. I've got 7 mushrooms, a large red bell pepper, medium green pepper, 2 carrots, 2 brown onions, a head of garlic, 3 pieces of celery. I've got a bunch of spring onions, 2 cans of diced tomato, and I've got some black-eyed peas that I soaked overnight. They've been soaking pretty much for 24 hours. So they're ready to go. If you ask the question, why am I using black-eyed peas? Well, because they were the only ones that I had available in the house. Like I always say, none of these recipes you got to do exact to the T. Use what you've got in the house. That way things become a lot more economical for you. And yeah, it doesn't really matter. Preferably, yeah, I'd use red kidney beans, but I've got these, so that's what I'm going to use, and that's why I've put them on as an example. I could have went out and got the red kidney beans and done it how it should be made, but like I said, I'm just wanting to show you, use what you've got in your house. So let's get on to preparing all this. Alright guys, so we're going to chop up all these vegetables. I'm just going to give you a quick look at what we need to be doing. Nothing needs to be absolutely perfect. Again, it pretty much is a rustic, it's a rustic meal anyway. So let me just get rid of those. So I've got 2 onions. And I reckon everyone will ask the question, Chief, what do you do to stop crying when you're peeling onions? Well, 2 things. Use fresh onions and use a very, very sharp knife. And that's pretty much it. I've peeled kilos upon kilos at any given time in kitchens, and they're the basis of what you need to do. So anyway, so all we're going to do is pieces like that, quite simple. Nothing too small, nothing too big. So pretty much that's sort of what we're looking for. So at least you've got some texture to the meal without it being too fine, but we don't want it too big because we're not making a stew. We're making a chili beef. Now, you might be saying, where's the chili? Well, I've got chili, but unfortunately, the people that I'm feeding do not like chili. So in this case, I'm not adding any chili. I will put some aside for myself, and I will add the chili myself. And another good helpful hint that if you've got people that don't mind chili, just put enough just to give it a little bit of kick, and just put some extra chili on the side. And if they want to help themselves and make it a bit more spicier, well, good luck for them. So anyway, I'm not going to bore you with all of the chopping of these vegetables, which won't take long anyway, but I'll just put it on some time lapse and we'll get that going. Alright guys, so as you can see, we've got our garlic chopped up, all our vegetables are in here. So we've got a nice mixture and colour. So we've got all of these in there, so that's everything that we need. So all we've got to do now is start cooking this up. Alright guys, so now we've got our pot on the stove. I've just put a little bit of olive oil on there, or in it. Starting to smoke now, so we've got a good heat going. So first of all, in with the minced meat. I'll just give a little bit of paper towel. Paper towel for the old hands. So now we'll just break that up. And we'll just pretty much we'll fry that through. Okay, so at this stage we'll just add our garlic. Mix that in. Just give that a couple of more minutes. Alright, so we've done that, we've given that a couple of minutes. We're just going to pop in some of these beans. Mix them through. Same again guys, just mix that through, wait a couple of minutes. Alright, so we've mixed them through for a few minutes, keep on stirring this around. Got to keep that good sizzle guys, last thing you want to do is sweat food. So we're actually cooking it. Alright, so next, pretty much, throw in all these lovely vegetables. Have a look at that for a colour explosion. Is that fantastic or what? That's just fantastic. All vibrant. Okay. Alright guys, what I did forget to or fail to show you at the start is one of the main ingredients for the flavour. Now I have got smoky paprika, and some sweet paprika. So I will have 2 heaped tablespoons of the smoky paprika and 2 of the sweet paprika. So again, let's mix them through. The reason I used the sweet, that just gives it that sort of subtle but flavoursome taste, but the smoky paprika just gives you, as it says, that bit of smoky character taste to it. So as you can see at this stage, it's going through. Now the same thing with salt. You can add salt. Again, it's to your liking, everyone's liking. But I usually sort of wait until near the end. At least that way you can taste it and see what it's like. Because sometimes you have that taste and it's like, well, gee, I put too much salt in, you didn't need it. So we'll leave that till later on. Oh, that is smelling fantastic. Alright, next I've got 2 large cans. I think they're 500 grams. I can't even see, it's 800 grams, sorry, 2 800 grams of tomatoes, so the larger can. Bang bang. Now let's mix this through. And as you can see, there's a fair bit there. And like I said, for the price, fantastic. Who needs to go out to a Mexican restaurant when a Mexican restaurant can come to you? Look at that for colour. That is just absolutely fantastic. The smell is fantastic as well. So all I'm going to do at this stage is add a little bit of water. Now the same as when adding a little bit of water, just add a bit at a time so you know where you're at, because you don't want this to be too watery. Plus you can add more water as you go along. So what we're going to do now again is just bring that back to the boil. Once we've brought that back to the boil, we'll put the lid on it, probably 45-50 minutes, and it's done. Have a look at that, guys, for colour. If anyone says they can't eat this, you've got to be crazy. Even kids, look at the colour in there. Just fantastic. What a meal. Anyway, time to put the lid on it and let it cook. Alright guys, so that's it. That's 50 minutes. Have a look at that. That is just absolutely perfect. Just so yummy. And like I said, have a look how much there is. There is heaps. And like I said, you know, there's at least 10 servings. And if you had it with rice, well, you'd at least get 15. So it is cheap as chips. So only one more thing to do now is we'll serve this up. So that's it guys, beautiful. Nice bowl of hot Mexican chili beef. Now that's my one, so I've put a bit of chili in there, and as you can see, whoops, bit of steam on the camera there. I've actually got a little chili sitting there as well. They're super hot, but yeah, so that's our chili beef. Alright guys, time to eat. Now for the taste test. Unbelievable. Fresh pumpkin. And I didn't even put any salt in there. You know how I said leave the salt towards the end, because once that reduces a little bit. And the paprika, especially the smoky paprika, tends to sort of add that salty sort of taste to it anyway. But yeah, again, feed at least 10 people, $2 a piece. Yeah, you might not be feeding 10 people. I've got sons that take this to work, so it'll go. But, you know, look at what I've done. That was with a kilo of mince. You can add as much vegetables, beans, as much as you like. If you only want to make it for 2 people, 4 people, just reduce the quantity. But, yeah, that's pretty much what you need to do. But anyway, I've put chili in mine, not anyone else's. And as you can see, I'm standing up eating, but that's the story of my life. But anyway, please like, share and subscribe. And we will see you guys in the next video. Have a good day.